was a time months ago that if you predicted a clean sweep like Donald Trump had tonight, people would look at you like you had two heads.
Yeah.
But can you envision a scenario in which he is not the nominee?
Well, yes. I mean, technically he won't get to the number of delegates needed until later on, perhaps at the end of May, maybe even June. But you know, when I started seeing the notifications on my iPhone about he won 5, it really put so much pressure on other candidates that you know, I think from a perception basis, he's there already.
Well, it's like a total knockout, right?
This is huge, and he won by big margins. The numbers are not set yet, but so far the numbers are very impressive. I think the biggest loser is Ted Cruz, who hasn't done very well, except in one state, Delaware, I think.
And so they have this pact now, this sort of tenuous pact between Cruz and Kasich, and everything seems to be about Indiana right now, correct?
Yeah, correct. But I think it's overstated because at this point, even, you know, it's very hard for Trump not to at least come in second in Indiana, and we'll get potentially some delegates. But even if Cruz wins all of Indiana, he's still well behind.
All right, let's take a look at the Democrats. Hillary Clinton has 88% of the delegates that she needs. So there's got to be a big discussion taking place tonight in the Sanders campaign. There's been all this talk today. Should he be reassessing tomorrow? Will he be reassessing? His wife says no. His campaign people say maybe. So what's your sense?
Well, I think I've seen several models being put out there. He needs roughly 60% of the vote that remains, and she needs about 40. It seems improbable that he's going to win all the remaining contests at 60%. And it seems more probable that she will win it at 40 and beyond. So I think numerically, mathematically, he can't get there. But in terms of his own interest not to drop out and have his message and platform, you know, he can stay as long as he wants until California.
But does say he stays in, does he dial it down, you know, so he is not hurting the presumptive nominee?
I do think so. Today in his speech, it wasn't a concession speech exactly, but it was a speech, basically I didn't win. He did not attack Hillary Clinton. Having said that, there's still very strong pressures inside of his campaign to go after her. They've made this very personal. So how can he dial it down without disappointing his supporters? I think is going to be a big challenge.
Because right now exit polls seem to indicate that people feel that the campaign on the Democratic side has energized the party, while it's the flip side for the Republicans. They feel that the chaotic campaign has been divisive.
Well, I think that, so the Democrats are having what I think is more of a classic inter-party contest. They're fighting each other, but they're pretty close ideologically, and they have different approaches, but they're pretty close. Whereas on the Republican side, you have this tension between the so-called establishment types and then the outsiders or the rebels. And that's a different kind of dynamic that the Republicans usually don't have, certainly at this point in the race, because at this point, normally the chosen one by the establishment emerges as the winner. But here, the chosen one, as voted by the voters, of course, has huge resistance within the party.
I want to ask you your take on the Senate race in Maryland. Got a lot of attention, got very nasty, and it certainly was not close.
It wasn't close, although I think only 30% of the vote is in. But nevertheless, it seems like
it does not appear to be close.
It does
at
not
this point.
exactly. It does not appear to be close. You know, I think that is very challenging for someone like Edwards, who did not get many endorsements from her own colleagues, to really emerge. And Van Hollen, I think, has been putting in a lot of, you know, pay it forward kind of chits in his account, and a lot of people came to him. So, you know, it's surprising the huge difference, but nevertheless, there it is.
Well, we'll see where she goes from here. She's certainly got a lot of name recognition out of this. All right, Fernando, thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.
All right.